From great white sharks and endangered rhinos to blue whales and colossal squids, here are 13 animals you won't find at zoos or aquariums. Number 13. Pink Fairy Armadillo. Suffice it to say that this animal doesn't fit the image of an armadillo in terms of its appearance or its size. At 4.5 inches long, 115 millimeters, and weighing a little over 4 ounces, 120 grams, this is the smallest known species of armadillo. They're endemic to the plains and grasslands of central Argentina. Like others of their kind, these armadillos will roll up into a ball when threatened and use their leathery armor for protection. Aside from being scarce in the wild, these animals get seriously stressed when there's even the slightest change in their diet or environment. They've rarely survived long in zoos. The longest period a pink fairy armadillo survived in captivity has been 30 months, and that was in 1970. In some cases, they've only lived for a few days after being captured. Number 10. Swallows. These birds are found on all continents around the world, and are known for their distinctive appearance. They're also known as aerial feeders, which means they catch their food in the air. Because of that, these birds require large structures that provide plenty of flying room. Swallows are not the best choices for zoos, and they don't fare so well in captivity. Number 11. WALIA IBEX. This is a species of wild mountain goat that occurs only in the mountains of northern Ethiopia. At last count, an estimated 500 individuals remained within their forest and grassland habitat. Habitat depletion and poaching have pushed groups of them to seek refuge at altitudes approaching 15,000 feet above sea level. That's 4,600 meters. Even so, conservationists think the animal's best chance for survival lies within a stronghold, like the 34,000-acre, 13,000-hectare Semien National Park. Since males and females prefer to live in separate groups, that's only one reason why it might be difficult to keep them at zoos. To date, there are no populations of WALIA IBEX known to live in captivity. Due to their population, some experts have recommended capturing some specimens for a captive breeding program. Tell us if you think that's a good idea. Number 10. INDRI. Like all lemurs, this one is native to Madagascar. But this is a particularly large species that weighs more than 20 pounds, 9.5 kilograms, and has a head-to-body length of 28 inches, 72 centimeters. They're a noisy lot, with groups of them communicating by singing, roaring, and other vocalizations. The animal is revered by the Malagasy people, but they're also critically endangered by hunting and habitat destruction. Their exact population is estimated at 10,000 individuals or less, and experts think those numbers could shrink by almost 80% within 40 years. Unsuccessful attempts have been made to breed them in captivity, but only one INDRI has survived in captivity for more than a year. Number 9. SAOLA. This is a seldom seen bovine that is related to cattle and antelopes. At some 220 pounds, 100 kilograms, it has 2 sharp horns growing about 20 inches long, 51 centimeters. Researchers say it's one of the world's rarest large mammals, and until 1999, a photo of it had never been captured. It inhabits the Annamite Mountains of Laos and Vietnam, where its remains were initially found in the early 1990s. And at that time, it was the first large mammal that was new to science in more than 50 years. Since being described, these animals have remained elusive and their population size is still unknown. Experts have categorized them as critically endangered due to local hunting and habitat loss. While some sources claim these animals have been kept in captivity, it was only for brief periods. The World Wildlife Fund says no SAOLAs are currently known to exist in captivity. Number 8. NARWHAL whales. This cetacean was considered so mythical that it was once called the unicorn of the sea. And that's not a bad nickname, since it refers to their most distinguishing physical trait. What seems like a long horn growing from its noggin is actually an elongated upper left canine tooth. More properly called a tusk, it can weigh some 22 pounds, 10 kilograms, and extend more than 10 feet, 3 meters. The hollow structure continues to grow throughout the animal's life and is often used for cracking through the ice of Arctic waters. Excluding the tusk, these animals can measure about 13.5 feet, 4.1 meters, and weigh more than 3,500 pounds, that's 1,600 kilograms. They're related to beluga whales, which are commonly kept in captivity. Narwhals, however, are not. Attempts to capture and keep narwhals were made in the 1960s and 70s, but none of the animals thrived in captivity, and all of them perished within a few months. In fact, all narwhals have died in captivity. Our sources indicate that these marine mammals are found only in the wild. Number 7. Kermode bear. Their white coats more resemble polar bears, but looks are deceiving. Although it doesn't appear so, this animal is an extremely rare subspecies of the black bear. Its unique colouring is the result of a recessive gene found only in these beasts. Only 1/10 of the population displays the white coat. They are found in British Columbia, where they serve as that province's national animal. Inhabiting the Great Bear Rainforest, they stay mainly out of sight within its 25,000 square mile area, 64,750 square kilometres. Until several years ago, this was the only place you might spot them in the wild. But an abandoned yearling cub was found in northwestern BC. After some unsuccessful attempts at rehabilitation, the cub was sent to the British Columbia Wildlife Park. In 2012, they announced that the animal would be housed there. It's thought to be the only such bear subspecies in captivity. Animal rights groups argue that it should be relocated and released back into the wild. What do you think? Number 6. Greenland sharks. To recruit one of these big fish to your aquarium, you'd first have to find them. And that can be difficult since they inhabit the icy waters of the North Atlantic and Arctic Oceans at depths exceeding 7,200 feet, that's 2,200 meters. Growing some 20 feet, 6 meters, these animals can weigh 2,500 pounds, 1,100 kilograms on average. But if you did spot one in the wild, you might be able to overtake it. Greenland sharks have a very slow metabolism, which results in very slow swimming speeds. That slow metabolism also results in an incredibly long lifespan. These animals are estimated to live up to 500 years. That's the longest known lifespan of any vertebrate species. Because of that, scientists have great interest in capturing a specimen to document its aging process. But that would entail studying the animal under controlled conditions. And no Greenland shark has ever been kept in captivity for over a month. Number 5. Colossal squid. Since these cephalopods are so elusive and inhabit depths exceeding 7,000 feet, 2.2 kilometers, they're difficult to locate and are rarely seen. It wasn't until 2007 that the largest specimen was captured on video. That beast weighed nearly 1,100 pounds, 495 kilograms, and had a total length of 15 feet, 4.5 meters. But experts have estimated their maximum size at 1,500 pounds, 700 kilograms, and 33 feet, 10 meters. Aside from that specimen found in 2007, most of what we know about colossal squids comes from carcasses on the surface that were recovered by fishermen. So their scarcity and their great size are reasons why they won't be aquarium attractions anytime soon. But there has been a colossal squid specimen on display at a museum in New Zealand. Although it closed in 2018, it's scheduled to reopen. Number 4. Great white sharks. They might be the most famous, or infamous, predator in the oceans, so it would be a major draw at aquariums. And there have been several attempts made to keep them in captivity. In the 1970s, they were often featured at some of the world's major aquariums, but the displays never lasted long because these animals just don't adapt easily to captivity and don't survive long. When they're kept in tanks, the great whites won't eat and often need help swimming. Since they need to keep moving and can travel great distances in a short time, they struggle to survive in tanks. As a result, the animals die within weeks at most. In 2004, the Monterey Bay Aquarium in California built a tank for a small 4-foot shark, 1.2 meters, that held 4 million gallons, 15 million liters, and went 35 feet deep, 11 meters. That shark had to be released after 198 days, which is still the longest period a great white has been kept on display. The aquarium ended efforts to display these animals in 2011. Number 3. Mountain gorillas. These primates are found in national parks in Rwanda, Uganda, and the Democratic Republic of Congo. In 2018, their total population was about 1,000 individuals. They're robust and powerful creatures, with males weighing about 430 pounds, 195 kilograms, and rising more than 6.5 feet, 1.7 meters tall when standing upright. Their thick fur enables them to withstand the colder temperatures at elevations exceeding 14,000 feet, 4,300 meters. Despite their hardiness, these apes have never fared well in captivity. Attempts were made in the 1960s and 70s to capture and breed mountain gorillas, but the animals either became extremely sick or died. It's unknown why they don't survive well in such conditions, but a major part of it could be their diet, which is mainly foliage and is extremely specific. It's also unknown why lowland gorillas don't have the same problems with living and breeding in zoos. No mountain gorillas are currently known to exist in captivity. Number 2. Blue whale. They say that size matters, and that's definitely the case with this massive marine mammal. At nearly 100 feet, 30.5 meters, and weighing an estimated 130 US tons, 118 metric tons, the blue whale is the largest animal ever known to exist. So where could you keep it? They're identified as baleen whales, or filter feeders, that are found in waters around the world, including the Indian and South Pacific Oceans. And it's interesting to note that while their mouth is large enough to hold nearly 100 US tons, 91 metric tons of food and water, their throats are extremely narrow. They can't swallow anything larger than a beach ball. If they ever build a structure that can contain a blue whale, it would easily be the biggest attraction at the aquarium. Number 1. JAVAN rhino. Small for a rhinoceros is around 5,000 pounds, 2.2 thousand kilograms. And that is about the size of the JAVAN rhino. That still makes it the second largest animal in its native Indonesia after the Asian elephant. And it might be the world's rarest large animal. It's identified by its single horn, which is often shorter and smaller than other species. After having been widespread throughout Southeast Asia, no more than 61 individuals are now believed to exist. That's a big reason why they won't show up in zoos. They've never thrived in captivity, and a JAVAN rhino hasn't been exhibited for over 100 years. The last documented captive specimen died in 1907 at the Adelaide Zoo in Australia. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that big red subscribe button and click the bell for notifications for our next exciting episode right here on Epic Wildlife.